So, you want to clear a hardcore run and get this Black Bruiser Suit? Well, I have good news for you. The May patch made it a lot easier with changes to the prestige objective generation. No more two objectives of the same category will get spawned, which is a good change. Don't get me wrong, but I would have still preferred a reroll system. There's also changes to the time objectives, but we're gonna get into that later on. Which brings us to the criteria of how I rank these objectives. The first one being the requirement or dependence on certain conditions. Like, are you required to bring a specific item? Or is this really dependent on one location? The second criteria is completable or failable. Is it completable? Which means the objectives can be completed without leaving the mission. Same thing with failable. Is it failable without leaving the mission? The next one is points of failure. These are things or factors where you can make a mistake and actually fail the objective, therefore failing the run. I'm gonna sort these objectives into categories so we can avoid redundancies. And with that, we're gonna start with Silent Assassin. There are three objectives that falls into Silent Assassin categories, which is Silent Assassin, no complications, Silent Assassin, no firearms, Silent Assassin, suit only. I'm gonna talk about Silent Assassin first. Silent Assassin has this soft requirement of having a psyker, and it's really dependent on a very good RNG, because if they spawn in a very, very bad location or a very, very bad spot, a psyker won't save you. And also, the amount of targets that you have is really, really important here. So the next criteria is completable or failable. It is not completable, but it's very much failable, which brings us to the points of failure. There's a lot of points of failure here. Witnesses, trespassing, killing non-targets, and also camera, which pretty much you don't need to worry about in Freelancer mode, but if you do Silent Assassin, you have to worry about them again. So the final verdict for Silent Assassin is F. Do not pick Silent Assassin. It's just not worth the hassle. Even though during the May patch, they added more merces, it's still not worth it. And I'm gonna tell you, if they provide 10,000 merces, it's still not worth it. You're basically making your run harder. And this also applies, obviously, to the Silent Assassin, no firearms, Silent Assassin suit only, because the only difference that they have to the normal Silent Assassin is they have more points of failure, which is no firearms, you're gonna use a firearm, is now a point of failure. Changing disguises is now a point of failure for Sasso. So, all Silent Assassin, F. On to the next one, which is timed objectives. With time trials, it had been made easier with the May patch. So first off, we're gonna talk about the very basic timed objective, which is time trial. That is more of a dependence on you that you know the map. It's not really required to have anything. It's helpful to have a sniper or anything long range, but it's not really required. Time trial is very dependent on the map. You want a small map like Whittleton, and you need a good line of sight. And it also scales on how many targets you have on the map. So the more targets you have, the easier it gets. And it is completable. Obviously, it's also failable if you run out of time. And that's the only point of failure of time trial. I'm gonna rank time trial, the basic one, on B. So the next one is hide and seek. Hide and seek is very good. It has a requirement that the map has actual hiding spots. So you don't want to choose Mendoza because the hiding spot on Mendoza is very few in between. You would prefer to have hide and seek on things that you know where the hiding spots are. That's the only dependence that you have. Also, it is now completable after the patch. It also gonna go on B. The next one is get disguises. Now, this is not as good as hide and seek. First off, requirement is you need to know different disguises and where to get them. Unlike hide and seek, you cannot reuse the same disguises, so you have to be changing constantly. It is now completable as well, so I'm gonna put this in C. Now the next one is silent takedown. Its dependence is on your knowledge of NPC routine or patrol areas or NPCs that's alone. If you have that knowledge, this is gonna be easier than hide and seek. It is also completable. It's gonna be a B. On to the next category, and this is an overlap between timed and Showdown exclusive objectives, which is timed pacify suspects. It has dependence on RNG and how skillful you are or how good you are at isolating suspects. It has a lot more points of failure because other timed objectives, you run out of time, you fail. But with timed pacify suspects, if you alert a lookout with other people, your target might escape. Suspects, they patrol in unpredictable areas. It's a mess. So I would put timed pacify suspects on F. Next one is neutralize a lookout. There's nothing really required for it. If you can kill a lookout or knock him out and then hide the body, that also counts. Dependence is you knowing who the lookout is, and it's very easy. They have white dots on their head, whatever disguise you have. It is completable, it is not failable, which means you can literally kill the target and then kill the lookout later, or kill the lookout first, then kill the target. The only way you fail this is if you leave before completing this objective. So, neutralize a lookout is an S. And this also applies to neutralize an assassin. The only difference is the assassin follows a suspect. Only points of failure if they shoot you first, which means you failed the mission, or you live the mission without neutralizing an assassin. With that said, it's an S. The next one, arrange a meeting. Arrange a meeting requirement is you have to pacify a suspect that has the same network with the target. It's not really dependent on anything. It's completable. If you alert a lookout or the target, there's nothing you can do anymore. That mission has sailed. So you want to arrange a meeting before alerting them. I mean, it's advisable you never alert them. So I think this is more of an A. The next one is during a tell. Its requirement is you knowing the tell, and if it's not eating or not drinking, it would be a lot harder because you don't have poison as a backup. It's depending on your skill to actually get them during this very small window. Is it completable? Yes. Is it failable? Very yes. The points of failure is you don't kill them during the tell, which is a very small window. You alert them because once you alert them, they will never do their tell again. But it's still better than arranging a meeting because you don't actually expose yourself by getting close to a suspect. During a tell is an A because you only have one shot. If you miss, that's it. They're gonna panic and never gonna do a tell again. The next one is better though, which is during escape. You can trigger this whenever you want. If you know who the target is, shoot their assassin, they're gonna panic, there you go. They're gonna escape and then shoot them. That's great. It is completable and it's also failable if you let them escape. During escape is an S. Now, going to a meeting. Its requirement is you know the animation when they're going to a meeting, how to differentiate it from just their normal wandering around. They check their phone, then goes to a meeting. Is it completable? Yes. Failable? Very yes. Same points of failure, which is you miss, you're done. It's really hard to know when they are going to a meeting. You can try to arrange a meeting, but you're trying to complicate things more. Yeah, this is a B. Up next are the elimination ones, the kills objectives. We're gonna start with a shuriken kill. Now, shuriken is a specific item. I'm gonna rank this as the same one, which is shuriken, katana, and ice pick. They are not epic, they are not legendary, they are only rare. The requirement is you have to have the required items. For shuriken, you can have the bat shuriken, which is epic, and the normal shuriken, which is rare. And also the starfish. Katana, you can use a tanto and it counts as a katana. And ice pick is also rare. So it's not really that hard of a requirement. Not really dependent on anything. It is very completable, failable. You kill the target with a different weapon. That's the only point of failure. If you forget to use the specific item, which I would say skill issue. I would rank these three as S. The next one is Epic Silence. There are Epic Silence Pistol, Epic Silence Assault Rifle, Epic Silence Submachine Gun, Epic Silence Shotgun, and these are all the requirement that you have. You need to have them. Same thing with a specific weapon kill. I'm not gonna reiterate why it's good, but all of these Epic Silence, S. The only points of failure of this is skill issue. The next one is Epic Melee Kill. Same thing requirement. You have to have an Epic Melee, which is free. Not free on New York anymore because of the patch, but there's still a free Burial Dagger in Isle of Sigale. So that's the only requirement. It's also completable. The points of failure is the same with specific weapon kill, so it's an S. Epic Unsilenced Pistol. It's pretty much the same thing, but this is unsilenced. This can complicate your mission a lot more. So I'm gonna put it a tier below. It's an A. The next one is Headshot Legendary. Requirement, you have to have a legendary gun. Completable? Very completable. Points of failure, skill issue. S. Okay, the next one is the collateral kills, which is accident, explosive, and firearm. Okay, collateral accident. The best accident is, well, propane tank. It requires a lot of setup, and it's really dependent on the map that you have. But at the same time, you have to go out of your way and find an innocent person. It is much more involved and very finicky. I'm gonna rank collateral accident as a B. Now, collateral explosive, pretty much the same thing, but it doesn't need to be an accident. You have a gunpowder in your garage, you're gonna get exposed a lot more. So, collateral explosive is also a B. Now, collateral firearms, the requirement of collateral firearms is a shotgun or a sniper rifle. And it's a lot more punishing than collateral accident and collateral explosive. So it's really depend on how confident you are that you're gonna kill two people with one shot. Completable? Yes. Failable? Much more than the other collateral objectives. The points of failure is you can miss the other guy, even point blank. That happened to me. This is much more a riskier prospect than the other collateral objectives. So it's gonna be a C. On the next category is miscellaneous. I can't really put this in different categories. Open safe explosive. It's you need to have an explosive. You need to check the map if it has a safe. Is it completable? Yes. Failable if you forgot about it or you ran out of explosive. That's the only point of failure. Open safe, S. The next one is pacify baseball bat. Requirement to have a baseball bat is completable. The only points of failure that you have is if you kill the target before pacifying them. That's skill issue. The points of failure, that's it. And a little bit complication with baseball bat is you cannot put it back in the briefcase and it's an illegal item. I suggest you just leave it if you can't bring it. There's 3 baseball bats if you pay to win. This is a very, very good objective. S. Oil trap or water trap. Requirement is you have to have the oil or the water canister. It's very, very much like a collateral accident. You have to set it up, but you don't need another person for it. That's actually very good. It's gonna be a B because the setup is what makes this complicated. And the last one that they added to the game is Perfect Run. I'm gonna explain Perfect Run because it's new. Perfect Run is you need to complete every other optional objectives on a mission. So the 3 blue ones, you have to complete those. And it's bugged. If the optional objectives are not completable and you leave the mission, you will fail this Perfect Run. It's a very bad bug. Is Perfect Run completable? Yes, that's the only way you can complete it. It's failable? Very much so, because you can fail it even though you finish it. The requirement for a perfect run is all objectives must be synergized with each other, and it's really dependent on that. The points of failure is a lot, because now instead of having to worry one objective, you are worrying 3. You basically turned your 1 objective run into the 3 objective run. Do not pick this. This is an F. Even without the bug, it's an F. A little bit of recap here, and I'm gonna explain what the tiers mean. So first off, S is basically what I recommend when you go into showdowns. These objectives does not complicate the matter. It actually works so well with how you're gonna play the showdown. These objectives are very good, which is neutralize a lookout, neutralize an assassin, kill during escape, a specific weapon kill, epic melee kill, epic silence firearm kill, headshot legendary, open safe explosives, and pacify baseball bat. The next one is A. This is a solid choice, which provides a little more complication into completing the mission. Arrange a meeting, during a tell, and an epic unsilenced kill. B, which is really dependent on the skill or knowledge of the player. If you think you're good, you're gonna be fine picking this, which is timed trial, timed hide and seek, timed silent takedown, going to a meeting, collateral accident, collateral explosive, and oil or water canister trap kill. The next one is C. These are very, very risky. That even if you are good, sometimes mistake will happen and you will get screwed. Which is timed get disguises, collateral kill firearms. The next one is to avoid these objectives. Not because they're not fun or they're not challenging, it's just that they're not worth the hassle. These are silent assassin no firearms, silent assassin suit only, timed pacify suspects, and perfect run. Hopefully, this will help you get your first hardcore clear. If it doesn't, maybe your map choices is actually what's holding you back. I ranked them as well in the context of Freelancer.